Hello everyone, welcome to my first YouTube video, hopefully the first of many, but I kind of wanted to go over a in-depth tutorial for Scarlet Witch. Last season, Season 0, I one-tricked her all the way to GM2, and this season I hope to get even above that. Hopefully one above all. We'll see how the grind goes. But anyways, just kind of wanted to go over this character. I don't really see her a lot in my games, so I just kind of want to let people know that she's not this bad character that every streamer makes her out to be. But anyways, let's get into it. So first off, we'll just go over her kit. Her left click being her infamous auto aim. This does percentage max health damage. I'll throw up a screenshot on screen showing the actual damage numbers. The important thing to note here is this is your basic combo with Scarlet Witch, is to be holding down left click and throwing into right clicks. Your left click here is to recharge your chaos energy that you see at the middle of your screen. The four little circles, or not circles, but little triangle things. This charges up your chaos energy faster. And then your right click is the Chthonian Burst. This is going to be your main tool for DPSing people down. It's going to be your key to winning a lot of your duels and a lot of your dives on supports and squishier characters, as well as just throwing it out. Like anytime that you have a charge and you're able to keep sucking targets, you just want to be always doing this. So yeah, it's really integral part of her kit. It got buffed Season 1. I'll throw up numbers on the screen for the updated numbers for this season. But yeah, so next up you have your telekinesis, which is just your fall slowly. Use this to stay in the air longer, chase down airborne targets, Iron Man, Star-Lord, Storm, things like that. Next up we have your Mystic Production, which is your shift ability. This makes you briefly invulnerable to damage, and you enter a free flight state. Enemies can track you as a small red orb, so just be aware of that. You're not like completely invisible or anything. Also to note, in this form, you cannot be healed by your teammates. You can grab health packs, and then you can also be healed by the passive ability of Luna Snow's Snowflake. So if she has it on you before you enter your free flight and she's healing someone else, it will heal you while you're in your phase. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be your main tool for getting off flanks, flying up to contest high to reach targets, even just like simply flying above your team if you're playing front to back and just shooting some right clicks at the enemy supports or backline. So just this is going to be your main ability here that you want to be using, and mastery of this is really what's going to separate you from a good Scarlet player to a like insane Scarlet player that people start target banning you. So anyways, next up is your E ability. It is a spell field that you see here. It will stop upon colliding with a player or scene, which is, you know, any of the map, or player-made objects, such as groups, walls. It can stun up to 3 times, as you saw there. This you want to be kind of throwing like in chokes where people are pushing through, where tanks are kind of going, or if you're entering in a 1v1 with, like, let's say this bot right here is like a Hela or something, just kind of want to throw it down before I engage. That way they can't really fight back. Another thing I'll say is utilize your melee. I don't really see a lot of people getting close. It does good burst damage. If I was closer here, that would have been fine, but just weave in some melees whenever you're close enough and you don't want to risk missing a shot. Okay, next up, we have your ultimate.
That's 3!
Your ultimate is basically a Diva Bomb centered on Scarlet Witch in a sphere of 15 meters. You do need line of sight for this, and it does have a long charge up time, and you do get a reduction in movement speed while you're charging. So you're basically announcing to the enemy team that you're a free kill if you pop this. I would say the best ways to use it that I have found, obviously, yes, if you see an opportunity where you can hide behind cover and kind of poke out at the last second, like, let's say the entire enemy team's up here, I can just kind of hide here and then pop up last second. That is a good way to use it, and that's the majority of the way I see influencers say to use it, but I never see anyone commenting on how easy it is to combo with your team. I'm talking about support ults as well as some tank ults that can be used to combo with you. The prime one for tank role being like Magneto, for example, or Groot can also work if you're hitting them from behind, but mainly stuff that can protect you from dying. So like Magneto's ult, for example, absorbs all projectiles that come into its radius. So once your Magneto pops ult, you can pop it like right behind him and just follow him, and they won't be able to hit you with any CC because all CC in this game are projectiles, and they won't be able to hit you with any bullets. The only exception is, I believe, Groot's left click, Venom's left click, things that aren't considered projectiles that can still like not be absorbed by his ult. Other options I would suggest are using it with your support ults like Luna Snow, Mantis, Cloak and Dagger is a decent one as well, depending on how much ground they like to cover with their ultimate. And then Sue Storm is okay. People can always just run away from that one since it doesn't really move or have the option to move. But yeah, those are the ones I would recommend trying to combo your ult with. People need to understand that in a game like Marvel Rivals, the worst thing you can do is die. And even worse than that is die without taking anybody with you and making it an even fight for your team. So yeah, I have my ultimate ability, but if I were to pop it without any support from my team, I highly doubt without comms, or even sometimes with comms, that you're going to get the support you need to not just outright die or get CC'd by the enemy team. So it's sometimes better to just not ult if your cooldowns are not synced up with another player on your team who you want to combo with. So just keep that in mind. It's way better to not ever use your ult than to just pop it at the beginning of a team fight or in the middle of a fight, and then you end up dying and then not taking anyone with you, because then your team's at a disadvantage and you're losing all the value that you could have brought to that fight. So yeah, I would just keep that in mind as you learn to play Scarlet Witch, judging what you can get away with, what you can't. I have gotten some beefy ults off sometimes without comboing with my supports or tanks or anyone, so it's all just up to your judgment, and you'll get better at making those calls the more you play this character. Another thing I would say is try to calm to your supports when to ult, because let's say they're Luna Snow ults first because they have like a Punisher ulting or something, and then your Luna Snow isn't ulting right away, and you know that they're going to be pressing W, and you can kill them with your ultimate through a Luna Snow if she's healing you. So I would just calm, like, hey Luna, can you press Q here, and then press W, like walk forward. I would say my favorite ones out of the 4 I listed are definitely Mantis and Luna. Mantis being number 1 because of the speed boost that you get from her Q ability. Because then, not only do you get the overhealth, you also get massive movement speed increase, which you normally don't get in your ultimate ability. Some other combos are like, I'm sure you've seen on TikTok with like Strange Portal and stuff like that. Those are also good if you can coordinate them. I found it's really hard to sync up a portal cooldown with your ultimate since it's on such a long CD. But if you can get it to work, then more power to you. But yeah. Before I get into like specific engage options and how to actually like play the character in different scenarios, because she is very versatile, let's just go over quickly what was I gonna say? You know, I lost my train of thought, but let's just go over how to kind of play her in different situations. So, for a team, like let's say you're playing like Doctor Strange, Magneto, and like Punisher, and then you have two backline supports like Luna Mantis, for example. Your team is not very divey. So you're most likely going to be playing front to back, which means basically that you're going to be focusing on the tanks a lot until you see an opening to kind of make some like poke damage or like get off a successful kill on a backline character like a support or a DPS by like off angling and things like that. So she's really good at just like holding left click down on tanks and then throwing in right clicks, and it does a surprising a lot of damage. So I'll go and put a tank over here just to show you just what she's doing. Doctor Strange is common, so see, that's not a very long time to kill a tank at all, and you're putting constant pressure on him to not take space towards your team. Like, he can't really press W key there. Obviously he's going to be shielding and stuff, so you're going to be hitting a lot of that. But once the shield is broken, Strange is kind of a free kill sometimes. So just like recognizing when to play front to back and just shoot their tanks for a little bit. It's also a good way to build up your own charge and just get some space for your team. If they have like a particularly divey comp, like Black Panther, Star-Lord, Psylocke, Magic, Venom, characters like that, Captain America as well, you can kind of just peel for your team if you realize that your supports aren't able to survive on their own, or your tanks aren't able to peel for your supports that well. So you're really good at just, for example, for Black Panther, you basically throw your E down on top of wherever your supports are, and you calm them to play inside of it. And that's a really easy way to get value. And you kill a Black Panther and other like backline divers very quickly. This is going to be the same for like any diver, including your tank ones like Venom, Bruce Banner. Just throw your E down where your supports are playing and calm them to like play around it so that they get stunned, obviously. And then try to land right clicks whenever they aren't moving or they're in between their movement abilities. So like Black Panther, try to aim between his dashes, or if he gets stunned by your E. Magic, in between her portals when she's not invulnerable. Spider-Man, honestly, don't even try to hit right clicks on that guy. I would just hold left click the whole time. Just because he's so hard to hit and you don't want to waste your bursts and like waste DPS by not holding left click. Psylocke, you can kind of just hit her wherever. She doesn't really move that much except for her 2 dashes, but she needs to kind of get some damage off before that, and you can poke her out. For in-air characters, it's going to be the same thing. You need to be landing at least 1 to 2 right clicks to secure a 1v1 against a duel against a flying character, such as Storm, Iron Man, and Star-Lord, or else they're going to kill you. Star-Lord is probably the easiest, I would say, out of the flying characters for you to 1v1. in the cases of Iron Man and Storm, you want to make sure that they don't have their E abilities active whenever you enter in their threat radius. Iron Man, you can potentially kill in his E if he's not paying attention to you, and if you're able to get like 2 right clicks off before you actually hard engage him and he turns his focus to you. However, if you miss your right clicks, or if he's looking at you before you even start the fight, wait till his E is over, because then he'll never do enough damage to kill you. Storm, if she's in her E, it has a very long cooldown, so you'll be able to like just wait till it's over. But she'll do a lot of burst damage to you, and you might actually lose that 1v1, even if you land your right clicks. So I would just be wary of that. You can also use your shift ability if she activates E, or Iron Man activates E, or anything like that. If anyone uses any important cooldowns, your shift ability can be used to dodge. Like I just said, if Storm activates her E, you can just shift and like back out, get some healing from your supports, maybe re-engage after the E's wore off. Same thing with like Black Panther. If he's trying to dive you or your supports, if he focuses on you first, that's a mistake, because he wastes a mark and a dash reset. Because if he lands a spear on you, immediately what I'm doing, this right here, I'm shifting and I'm running away from him, and I'm holding left click and throwing right clicks as I'm backing away from him. So he'll never get a dash reset off on you if you're playing correctly. Same thing with like magic in them. Just constantly be using your shift to reposition, take high angles. You never want to be coming at anyone from like the same level playing field. You always want to be coming at them from an above angle, so that you're able to land these as you're on your way down, and you have the advantage. And that's what's important about off-angling as well, to make sure that you're never predictable, because the moment you start getting predictable is the moment they start just killing you before you have a chance to retaliate. We covered the E, throwing it on top of wherever your divers are diving, throwing it in choke points. Let me see if there are any specific interactions that are weird that I'm just forgetting to mention. Yes. Okay, so characters like Venom, Spider-Man, and Iron Fist, I believe those are the 3, will have odd interactions with your shift ability. So Venom, for example, let's say you're kind of just sitting with your supports in the back line, just like doing damage to their front line, and you see Venom fly in, diving strike you. If you're not out of his right click range before you press shift, then the shift will still do damage to you, even if you're in your shift ability. Like his right click will still do damage to you. I don't know why. I've died to this a few times whenever I've had a Venom diving me. But even after I press shift, if he right clicks while I'm still in range, I will still take damage. I don't know why. It's just how it goes, I guess. It's just the interaction and how it plays out. So I'm not sure why it does that, but yeah. So just be wary of that. If you see a Venom, try to shift out of dodge before he diving strikes onto where the bunch of people are, so you're not getting caught out by damage that could potentially end in your early demise, because it will kill you in your shift. So Spider-Man and Iron Fist, they have their E, or sorry, Spider-Man has his E and his uppercut ability. Those have a sort of like mini stun mechanic, where your character does kind of like an arch mid-air and like stops moving. It will cancel abilities such as like Iron Man shift to fly away. It will also cancel your shift to fly away if done at the proper moment, I've noticed. And Spider-Mans typically are able to catch me for some reason, I don't know why. But it will take your cooldown, and it will cancel your first one. So you will end up having to use 2 charges if you don't time it correctly. Iron Fist the same way with his shift ability, his kick. So just try to stay conscious of where they are on the map, and don't ever let them like get the jump on you. As soon as you get marked by a web, you just want to press shift insta. Like as soon as you see the little web marker on your head, and just try to look for the Spider-Man and start holding left click while he's on your screen, and you'll start to melt him and he'll have to disengage. And then for one last play style, if your team is playing dive, Wanda's honestly very good at following up on, like, if you guys have a Venom, BP, Star-Lord, whatever. She's honestly pretty good at following up because your shift is really good for repositioning, getting high ground, and getting off angles to throw right clicks onto supports and squishies. So just keep that in mind. This character has a very adaptive playstyle and can almost fit into any team comp, I would say. Just trying to think. Here are my hours. Wait, let me exit the practice range. I'll show you guys my hours. I'll show you guys my little banner thingy from hitting GM last season, just so you know I'm not a fraud. But yeah, basically I think that's everything to cover very like shorthand and quickly. I could make this video like an hour long and go over like every hero and how you want to play a 1v1 or a duel against them. I don't think it's necessary because most of them have the same fundamentals. But if anyone has any specific questions, please, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see some Scarlet Witch OTP gameplay, I am live on twitch.tv/TheRodGaming. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check me out. But here's my little banner from GM last season, and then here are my hours on Wanda. Oh, sorry. Stats, here we go. All seasons, competitive. 34 in comp, 42 not in comp. But I love this character, like comically and in the game. Everyone says she's bad. I don't think she's as bad as everyone says she is. And I hope to prove people wrong about that. And my last bit of advice for anyone trying to main this character and take it into ranked is your biggest op when you get into higher ranks, and even in lower ranks as well, your biggest op is going to be your team. I cannot tell you how many times I have been banned by my own team members as soon as I hover the character to be played. So they will ban me, and then I'll end up having to play something else. A few times I've had people on the enemy team who were on my team from last match or on the enemy team where I did really well, and they will target ban me because they recognize my name in my portrait. So this character can be good enough to where you get target banned because you're a good one trick. So it always feels nice to be wow, they think I'm good enough to deserve a target ban, on a character that has been F tier on everyone's tier list. But yeah, so that is all. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for checking me out, and yeah, have a good one.